Hello, everyone. My name is Emery M. Moore Jr., and I have the distinct pleasure to introduce and interview my good friend, Miss Cindy Blackman Santana, one of the most fantastic artists and people that I have come to know. And I'm not saying that because she's sending me chocolate or paying me. This is honestly how I feel.
And the chocolate helped, though, didn't it? So did that chocolate.
Yes, and we are both very silly people and very serious human beings. So you have to figure that out. So I just want to thank you from the heart for doing this, because we had some technical difficulties the first time, and I didn't sleep well last night, wondering whether, what we could do, but we worked out. And I just want to say that drum kit behind you, that looks very lovely, by the way. And
thank you.
Yeah, you taught me something, by the way, the other day when we were discussing it, because you mentioned that it was made out of wood, and silly me, I thought the drums were metal.
Well, sometimes you might have a metal drum, like steel drums could be metal, or you might have a snare drum that's metal, but basically, drums are made, these kind of drums are made of wood, and you have the metal hardware like this there, but this part, that's all wood.
And yes, I didn't know that. That makes sense though, right?
Yeah, I mean, there are drums made out of plastic, which have a particular sound. There are drums made out of, some other kind of materials, but the resonance that you get out of a wooden drum, a wooden instrument, it's like a finely produced and guitar, or I was going to say violin, really. Those, guitars, violins, those are all made out of wood. Acoustic pianos are made out of wood. Acoustic drums, by and large, are made out of wood. So there's a value to that resonance, and it also is a connector to Mother Earth, because it's made out of something that's naturally inherent in what she produces, and that is from trees. It's wood.
Can I tell a funny Cindy Blackman violin story?
Oh, yes, please do. I can't wait to hear
it. So we've known each other a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow, I don't know how we found ourselves in this place in Manhattan. We were in this fitness. I was teaching in this fitness studio. It was very unique. It had classes and it had personal training, but I really enjoyed the classes there, and I had a following at that time, and I always loved live music. So I called you up, and I don't know if you were there, because I think you knew people there or something. Somehow you were connected to being there. And I said, I really would love to have somebody play the violin for my class, because I had other musicians, but I really wanted a violinist. And you said to me, well, let me talk to my friend. So I'm like, okay, cool. Cindy's going to talk to her friend, that'd be great. I could use a violinist, We didn't have a lot of money to pay them, but, we give them a little something. They do tips. So you said to me, my friend is interested in doing it. I was like, oh, cool. She's like, well, her name is Regina. And I was like, okay, cool. And you said, Regina Carter. Do you know Regina Carter? And I'm like, I don't know Regina Carter, which sounds like, if you tell me she's good, I believe you. Yeah. That's how you live. That's how you live. That encapsulates my entire experience with you, because when I first met you and I asked you what you did for a living, you're like, I play the drums. I'm thinking, okay, well, that sounds cool, I guess it's a good way to make a living as anything. And I asked you, I think at that time, are you able to make a living doing that? And I was like, a lot of people don't make a living playing the drums. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't know too many folks who are actually bringing the check in. Needless to say, once again, once I was invited to your rehearsal and I heard you play, my question to you was, who are you really?
Oh, I remember when you said that.
I'm like, what's going on here? And the rest is clearly history. And I believe we've been friends ever since. And you've been fooling me one day after the next. So I just can only await the next, the next like revelation,
You have some jokes yourself there, my friend. The things that you turned me on to, and I'm talking about, very incredible spiritual things, like Falun and then your expertise in your field with body movement. I was like, what? And that's why I gave you the nickname that I gave you. And I don't call you, but you were like, I'm like, this dude, he can climb walls. I'm like, what you do? You were tripping me out. So feelings mutual, my friend.
Well, it's definitely a mutual admiration society, and I know that you're coming out with a new album, and that's special. What made you what made you decide to do another album? Because I know you've done, how many albums have you done? Because I know I've got, I don't know, 3, 4.
That's all. No, I'm kidding.
Oops.
oops. No, if you have one, I'm happy, but gotta get some more. But no, I'm just kidding. But I don't know. I have about 10 or 12. I have quite a few records out, fortunately. But it was well overdue. It was way past time, And the thing is to be able to have a sound vision. And I don't mean a sound vision, you can need that too, but a vision of sound, to be able to birth that baby and put it out is, and I mean, in terms of it being your child, to be able to birth that and put it out it's a wonderful thing. I'm really grateful for it. And on this record, I wanted to do something different because I wanted to include kind of a mashup, a collage of genres that I like, which included having some fun dance stuff, some hard-hitting jazz rock stuff, some other kind of creative feel stuff, many messages, and messages that are poignant. And unbeknownst to me, these messages were going to be really, really relevant in 220.
I see.
And I mean, our first release was Imagine, and I chose that song because I love the message, and it's unfortunate that that message is still needed and still relevant to us to learn from and listen to, but it's fortunate that John Lennon and Yoko Ono gave us this message that we have, because it's such a beautiful and poignant message. We have another song on the record called Evolution Revolution, which is its own message. Changes in Your Hands, which is yet another message. Social Justice, which is another message. And I'm happy with that song on a lot of levels, because of the message, but also because of the way that we're playing. Matt Garrison is playing bass, I'm on drums obviously, and Carlos is playing guitar, and we are playing really openly.
Carlos, that name sounds familiar to me, Carlos. Where do I know that? Where do I know that name?
He's a young and up and coming guy, who's kind of did that in that guitar, and I'm like, you should really, really think about doing this. I think you'd be successful. And he says, you think so? And I'm like, yeah, I think you would.
Well, let me tell you something. If he is playing on your album, he must be really good.
Hey. He's all over this album. This song, you know, what I love about it is first the message, the social justice message, which is very poignant for today, and we really need to take heed and pay attention to what we're doing, what we're thinking, what we're saying, how we're acting, you know, how we're treating people, how we view ourselves within this whole spectrum of the planet and the dimension that we live in, because we are creating, whether we realize it or not, every second that we're breathing and thinking and doing, we are creating. And so that means the negatives and the evils that we collectively have created, we can uncreate. You know, we can change that. But we have to understand that we can do it. So social justice is, yes, thank you, me too. And social justice is great because there's, you know, a beautiful message in it, but also just conceptually, the way that Matt and Carlos and myself are playing on this track, it's really over the bar line, you know, and we're really stretching the pulse. You know, I mean, it's there, it's consistent, but we're just pushing things, we're stretching, and we're playing over the bar line, and we're really going for it. We're not playing just a 2 and 4 backbeat, but yet Andy Vargas, one of the great lead singers from Santana, is rapping on it, on top of it. You know, so you have the juxtaposition of this incredible message with, you know, that's being rapped. And then I do a little spoken word on top, you know, here and there, but mainly it's Andy. You know, you have him rapping on this thing, but with us playing in a way that is very and completely atypical for somebody who's doing spoken word or rapping. You know, so I'm really proud of this song because I believe that it's an eye opener to what you can do in music, and the fact that, you know, you don't have to just play things a certain way. You can get the feeling, the vibe, the pulse, you know, all across, and you can still have an innovative approach to what you're playing. So I'm really proud of that song. I'm really happy.
Well, you can, and the people you roll with can, and you got me. Okay, you got me. I'm getting the album.
Okay, that'll be 3 or 4 now.
I'm getting the album, and I believe the album is coming out in full on September 18th, correct?
Correct, September 18th.
I remember these things.
Very good, yes.
And for those of you who don't know, you can get it everywhere there that you can get music nowadays. And in the chat, I'm seeing Jerome Jordan says, "Yay, yay, yay!"
Hi, Jerome. Thank you.
And we
have a lyric video that just came out for the 4th release on the record, which is the final release before the full, and it's called "Everybody's Dancing."
Okay.
And it's a song for uniting people, you know, all colors, all cultures, all variants of this human species, you know, that we are. It's to unite us all, you know. So it's a fun track.
Well, you know, I'm gonna now plug my stuff. With you included. So those of you who don't know, Cindy is graciously enough to perform. We're opening EM Studio online. Mm-hmm. Because of what's been happening in the world. We are having an art portal where we have right now 30 artists from multidisciplines, some of the most fantastic artists you can imagine, everything from culinary arts, music, dance, wellness, of course, somatics. I'll be teaching. Please come in and I can sprinkle pixie dust on you. I'm known sometimes as the wizard as well as Cindy's name for me, which is Spidey, because as I get older, I've learned to do different things. So we're launching on September 12th at 5 p.m. and we're going until midnight. And I refuse to tell you when Cindy's coming on because I want you to participate. No, you don't have to be on until midnight, but you know, we want you to come and check out the flavor. And she's going to be performing, and it's going to be magical. And I want to say thank you to Cindy, because years ago when I opened my studio physically, she was again gracious enough to perform, and it was one of the highlights I can say of my life, really, because I just, everybody was incredible, and it was just like the cherry was the icing, and it was really special. So if you've never seen her play, my goodness, what you've missed. And I knew her predominantly when she first exposed herself and revealed herself to me as doing jazz. But interestingly enough, I didn't know you were you, but I had already seen you play, because I saw you play live in Hamburg with Lenny Kravitz before I actually met you. And I never put two and two together. It took me years afterwards to realize, oh my God. Because I kept saying, I was like, wow, that band is incredible. Why do they have this guy up there with this guitar? Would he get out of the way and let the band play? So years later, I'm like, oh my gosh, it was you. And it never, I'm a little slow. And so those of you who don't know, yes, she was playing with Lenny. And she's done a lot of different things since then. And so I don't know, is there anything that you'd like to say to the world at large? And the fact that you care, what makes you you is the fact that you care, and I care. And there are a lot of good people, and I try to surround myself with that. And the arts to me is a way to heal. The arts to me is, Mestre Cobrinha said one time, like, rice and beans is okay, but it's better with spices. And that is what art is to me. Yes, you can go through life and just work and whatever you're doing, but without art, it's just rice and beans. So, if you want to throw the spice in the life, the art is really what makes people, I think, it's what gives us the flavor for life. It gives us, the higher meaning, and is able to transmit higher meaning. And the wellness, the event of choose art, choose wellness. We don't see a separation between art and wellness. We don't see that separation. We see the modality as being the same, and we see people who have reached the level with helping people to heal and to be well as artists, because there is not one size fits all. There's no single formula for any individual. Just like when you do improv, you learn the basics, you master them, and then you're able to speak and say in many different voices what you want to say to the world. So, is there anything you'd like to say to people before we wrap?
Well, I love what you just said. I think it's true, and I understand, and I hope that more people remember, because we all know it, but we need to remember that the source from which we all come is the Supreme Creator. And so for us, creativity is naturally a component of our DNA. It's in us. And you can. The thing is, I believe that the Creator gave us the power of reason and choice. So you can choose to create in a way that is helpful and loving, or in a way that's not. So I'm hoping that more people come to that realization of the power that we have, and make the choices that are helpful to the planet and to all of its inhabitants.
Can I get a witness? Thank you so much. That's all I can say is thank you so much. I'm going to send you the biggest hug I can get, and I hope that this thing passes soon so that we'll be able to hug our loved ones and be closer to people. And, September 12th, 5 p.m., em-studio.org. Register now. Stop fooling around and register right now, okay? Because we're not letting everybody in. It's limited, okay? Because we got it like that. And September 18th, whose album you're supposed to be buying.
I'll buy that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Big hug to you, and I'm looking forward to the 12th, 18th, of course, but as well to the 12th, because I love what you offer people, and you are a big help to this world. I thank you, and I thank you for being my friend for all these years and all the years to come.
Appreciate that, and the feeling is definitely mutual. All right, everybody, you guys have a good day.